Welcome. This is Her America, and I am Shaida. Happy New Year. And if you are listening and it is still 2023, even though we are only a few short hours away from 2024, welcome. And if you're listening in 2024, Happy New Year's to everybody. Happy New Year. I cannot believe it. It's going to be 2024 tomorrow. Just so shocked. So I figure a good way to end the year is to talk about things that I feel we can all leave behind in 2023 as we progress forward onto the new year. And the first thing that's up on the list is toxic relationships. Whether it's family, friends, whoever in your life that always seems to bring you down or tries to challenge you, and not in the best way, challenge you in very hard ways that traumatize you, relationships that can be traumatizing, I think it's safe to say we all can just cut the cord on that. We can cut the cord on those relationships and move away. As a Christian and as someone who is a woman of faith, I am a firm believer in boundaries, and I think boundaries are good, especially when it comes to toxic relationship, when it comes to family members who have not always been so respectful or kind or even considerate of you. I think that's also stemming from my personal life and where I've gone and what I have gone through. That's why I believe that it's okay to protect yourself a little bit. It's okay to build boundaries. So yeah, that's one of the things that we are leaving behind in 2023, toxic relationships. Next on the list is birth control. Yes, you heard it, birth control. I think after hearing so many stories and listening to so many different podcasts on this particular topic, birth control, I think it's safe to say that us women deserve so much better than putting some toxic pharmaceutical drug into our bodies that is damaging our health and wreaking havoc on our femininity in our bodies as women. And I'm gonna be up and honest. I have never been on birth control. Growing up, it was just never really discussed for me to be on birth control. Not that I feel like I needed to be on birth control. And there was only one other time when I was speaking with a gynecologist whether or not if I should go on birth control. That was when I was in my teens. And I just felt, no, I'm okay. I don't need to be on birth control. And listening to all the stories of women who have had terrible experiences on birth control, it just only warrants my decision on not being on birth control. So I think in 2024 we can start looking at new ways to help deal with our cramps, help prevent pregnancy if we're looking to not be pregnant and stuff in that nature. So yeah, one of the things I would like to leave behind is birth control. Next is the big bank industry. Just a few days ago, I just shared on my Instagram stories how there was a reel that I posted about a guy sharing the 3 worst banks in America. And those 3 banks include Wells Fargo's, PNC, and Bank of America. And I'm so sad to state this, but I actually do bank with one of those big banks. And over the past few months, I've been studying and doing research about moving my money towards a different bank, taking all of my money out and just moving it over to a different bank, because I think as we see through media and especially through the conservative movement, we see how disruptive big bank is to our finances, and how especially when they like to play into the whole political side, we can see how big banks can discriminate against their clients or customers. And so that's one of the things that I think we all should be doing, moving our money out of big banks and putting it into smaller banks. And besides that, I think we should also start one of the things I want to do is start investing my money. I want to start making a portfolio of things that I would like to invest in, because I am interested in creating, a future for myself, as we all are. I want to start thinking about things that I can start investing in, things that I could possibly pass on to my future kids, because I really would like the idea of starting a family one day, and I want to be able to give something for my family, to my family one day. And so, yeah, one of the things I'm going to do in 2024 is move out of big bank industry and put my money in smaller banks, or perhaps bank that, can respect some level of independency and being flexible with where I am in my life. So there's that. Next up on the list is veganism. Stop trying to make veganism a thing. I don't like, listen, if you're vegan, this is not an attack towards you. I just cannot get behind this plant-based movement. And I mean, am I the only one that's crazy to think that everyone's suddenly promoting veganism? Like, I am a fully carnivore girl. Like, I like meat. I like to eat eggs. I like cheese. I like dairy products. I don't want to drink oat milk or almond milk. I like the diet I am on. And one of the things, one of the people I like following is Vitally Melanie. She shares on her Instagram a lot about how to follow a good diet that embraces, that embodies like dairy, meat, that seems to get a lot of shame from the plant-based community. And also the Only Food Babe. I like listening to her a lot too. Okay, so yeah, we got toxic relationships, cutting off toxic relationships, birth control, big banks, veganism. What else? Rent control. Yes, rent control. Rent control hasn't really been a big topic, especially among the conservative movement, but I think rent control is something that we should be talking about, because I do see people, especially in California and places in New York, who are protesting for rent control, meaning that they want big government playing a hand in the housing market, and I think that is a big no. As someone who does rent, I do feel that the renting market is completely insane right now. And if you're someone who's either renting or owns, you can admit that the housing market has just been completely insane and been hurting our pockets. And so if you're someone that you want to have an affordable place to live, I think one of the ways we could do that is by promoting more private ownerships. We need to be one of the ways to crack down on expensive, rent is encouraging more landlords to rent. And I think as someone who is renting, I think landlordship and private ownership is the way to go when it comes to the rent industry, because You see more landlords that are able to work with the community and able to offer better living conditions, better amenities than apartment complexes that are owned by big companies, and they're just in crappy conditions, and they don't they they, they don't even care whether or not the conditions that you're living in are even great. So yeah, that's one thing that we should definitely look out for, is rent control and leaving that behind in 2023. So yeah. Next up is OnlyFans. Yes, massive that massive online slash social media presence on the internet, OnlyFans. I think OnlyFans is basically online prostitutions. You got all these women and men going on OnlyFans, and I don't know, they post things that you normally couldn't post on social media without it deeming inappropriate or being slapped by some moderators or even big tech for being inappropriate. I think OnlyFans, it's taught women to degrade themselves and completely thirst after attention, especially attention of men. I don't think it's a positive way for women to make money. And of course, a lot of these OnlyFans models do make quite a bit of money. That's why so many people are attracted to it. But I think it's not a good way of living. It's not bringing you fulfillment. It is just basically an addition to the porn industry and online prostitution. And so one of the things that I think we should look out for is OnlyFans, and making sure that in 2024 we can really crack down on the reasons why we shouldn't support OnlyFans anymore. Next up is cult mentality. Yep, cult mentality. And whether if it's political, spiritual, religious, lifestyle, we should all really stop living like we belong to a group of people, because we don't. One of the things that I like to say is be independent, because we're not in a cult. We shouldn't live like we're in a cult. Actually, that's probably one of the reasons why I stopped attending to the church that I was attending to for the past year. Is it was such a cult mentality. There was always like one belief system that everyone had to fall in line to this one belief system, and leave no room for like independency. And that's not what God is about, or that's not what Christianity should be about. And yeah, I think one of the things we're definitely leaving behind, that I'm leaving behind in 2023, is cult mentality. Lastly, that last on the list is legal Christianity, or legalism in Christianity. It is basically what I said in my last point, is that cult mentality, or that performative Christianity. I think that performative Christianity is just a crop out of pretending to feel like you're high and mighty, that you're like the second thing closest to God. I'm so done with fake Christians, people who claim to be with God, who are just trying to put on a show for other people to show like, oh, this is how my life is. This is what God has done for me. And, just showing that like, perfect cookie cutter side of Christianity that I think is just really performative. I'm just so done with legalism in Christianity. I'm so done with having to answer to people like I would answer to God. I think as a woman of faith, my relationship with God, I should always feel that God comes first, and that whatever mistakes or challenges or decisions or even blessings that I go through in life, that should all be coming before God, not coming before man. And so that's one of the things that I feel that we can all leave behind is in 2023 is legalism in Christianity as well as performative Christianity. So yeah, there's the list of things we should leave behind in 2023. Well, I hope you have a great end to the New Year's, and Happy New Year's to everybody. And I'll see you around in 2024.